All right. Good morning, everybody. I think it's delighted to be here and talking to every one of you. So my name is Jiang, Chief Digital Officer of Huawei Cloud. So the video you just seen is a short introduction of Huawei Spark, and that's what I'm gonna take you through today. So I joined Huawei briefly over a year, August last year, exactly 12 months ago. Since then, we have seen over 1,000 startups, out of which we have seen something quite interesting, which we refer as a Series A problem or Series A crunch. All right, so I'm just so essentially over the 1,000 startups that we've seen, 90% of them are struggling to reach Series A and going beyond, which is a problem, and that is a problem we're trying to solve. Basically, how can we help the startup to go beyond Series A and to reach their next goal? Essentially, how do we help them to beat this curve, which is the mission for Huawei Spark. And over the course of 12 months, I got a lot of questions, and one of the typical questions, two questions that I get asked a lot is, how do you run Spark program, and how exactly the program can help and benefit us? Now, my view is this: I'm a big fan of Formula One. And for me, running Spark program is a bit like running a team to compete on a Formula One competition. So the question back to the startup is, are you ready to compete at the highest level? So for those of you who doesn't know Formula One, it is the world's fastest auto race. It is also represent the highest level competition by science, technology, teamwork. And there are only 10 teams who are perform in the Formula One championship, supported by 10 chassis manufacturers. And all the professional drivers are allowed to be a Formula One driver, but essentially there are only 20 drivers can make it in. And the question is, so what does it take to race in F1? And if you're professional drivers, apart from having years of experience and getting exposure through F2 and F3, you essentially need two things, right? So the first thing you need is you need to have the right car, which comes with the chassis that meets the Formula One requirements. But more importantly is to have the right team, and the team who provides you with the structured support, a platform for you to compete at the highest level. And that's essentially what Spark provides. So we provide you with the right car, which is the world-leading technology, and I will go into that in a minute. And also being the right team to support you with the ecosystem and the tech platform. Just to give you a little bit more detail of Huawei. So if you look at who supports the most powerful F1 teams, and the like of Ferrari and Mercedes, who are world leading tech car manufacturer. Well, Huawei is a world leading tech company, and I'm saying that based on a number of facts. So number one, we have 200,000 employees globally, and 50% of them, of my colleagues, are all sits in the R&D. And as of last year, we ranked as a third in terms of investment by R&D investment based on volume and year-on-year growth. And as of 2020, we hold over 100,000 active patents, and yet we delivered 138 billion in revenue last year, and we're still growing. So we are in the right space to power the growth of startup. And exactly what do we offer from tech stack perspective? The first thing we can talk about is our consumer devices or consumer technology, such as HMS, Huawei Mobile System, Harmony OS, essentially enable the developers, if you're developing or focus on the consumer business, to build a mobile application more efficiently and with a more option to monetize. And then the second thing we offer through our tech stack is our connectivity portfolio, which are the 2G, 3G, and today 5G, that enables the startup to create or explore the next use case based on 5G technology, whether it's autonomous drive or the XR experience. Finally, is our cloud stack. So cloud and AI is a core focus of Huawei tech stack that enables the startup to build SaaS application, mobile-based application more efficient and bring them to the market quickly. And we not only just provide the tech stack as a pure technology play, we also provide very strong ecosystem, and we love to co-create with our partners, which is why we're launching a number of innovation facility or lab facility. So be the DGX lab, which is focused on consumer technology, open lab, and AI lab. So essentially, if you are a startup, have a technology that you want to co-create or want to bring into Huawei product portfolio, you can leverage these facility to help you to build a better product and go into market faster. And moving forward, I think let's look beyond the technology stack, because whatever tech we have today, it will become obsolete one day, and that's just a cold reality of any tech industry. But what's more important is have this ability to pursue innovation and continue to build a future tech stack. I think that's what essentially keeping Huawei ahead of the game, and what we like to extend to you and keep you ahead of the game. Now, as a partner to our startups, I feel compelled to highlight some of the challenges within the Asia ecosystem. So historically, Asian market are not homogeneous, so you have multiple cultures and language landscape that made the collaboration and scaling difficult. You also see divides today in social economics and digital between various countries. And in each of this ecosystem, they're very much working in isolation still for their own goals rather than working in collaboration. Now, these challenges have made the scaling for startups difficult. And our mission really is to supercharge the growth and help the startup to overcome these challenges. So there are three things I want to talk about with that aspiration, which we call the 3I ecosystem. So the first I is being integrated ecosystem. What does that mean? It's more about the value chain integration. And if I take China as an example, China has been known as very strong in the supply chain, integration, which creates unparalleled speed and scale. It is very much to do with how they integrate the value chain from upstream to downstream. In the Huawei Smart ecosystem, we integrate our value chain based on horizontal capability, which are the capability compatible to different vertical interests. And we also integrate the vertical, which is the vertical solution that come up with all the startups that we're working with. And then eventually we will connect them both to create a more stronger ecosystem. And if you move on, with that integration, I will give you some example later on. The next I is being inclusive. So what does that mean? It means you can't just work with one stakeholders, right? So in this case, we're working with multiple stakeholders, being the government, the venture capital firms, the universities, and other service providers, right? Which we give them a holistic benefits. We'll bring that out onto the table and let the startup to have a benefit. So it's a much more inclusive, holistic play than just being one of the stakeholder providing value from our perspective. And finally, which is the ultimate state of our ecosystem, is called inverted. So it's a little bit technical, and it's probably new to many of you. So I will spend a little bit more time to explain what does that mean. So being an inverted system, meaning you're shifting the value creation from within a company to the outside. So if you look at inverted firm, it's shifting the value creation from within, which is by the employee, to the outside by their customers, and that gives them a significant advantage being able to scale quickly. And the reason to that is there's just more customers outside than employees inside, right? So the good example of inverted firm will be Grab. Looking at this region, as we all know, the Grab majority value are derived from the drivers who work for Grab, but essentially they're not employee of the company. So from our perspective, we are building this 3I ecosystem that essentially shifting the value creation from the inside to the outside. And some example we see is for example, we see majority of startups in ASEAN or in Southeast Asia are struggling of accessing and retaining talents, especially experienced developers. In the meantime, what we see is in Sri Lanka, the IT outsourcing market has grown 120% in the last 5 years, and it's going to create another 200,000 jobs and 2,000 startups. So what we do is we are bringing in that capability to the startups in our portfolio, which creates a value by bringing the value from our side. And also, what we try to do is within Huawei Spark program, we create what's so-called Spark Fire program. So essentially, it allows the startup to do 3 things: sell to, sell with, and sell through. It means you can sell to Huawei, sell with Huawei, and sell through Huawei. So leveraging our global presence, leveraging our global sales force, you can access 100, 200 global Fortune clients and more enterprise clients in various countries, and over 700 million mobile subscribers through our platforms such as HMS and App Gallery. So let me just summarize what does that mean. So essentially, Huawei Spark is about building this ecosystem that focuses on being integrated, inclusive, and inverted to help the startup to upscale. So in the last 12 months, we have built this portfolio of 41 companies, 40 plus companies across 10 different countries in 10 different verticals. Obviously, we're not going to stop right there. So we are not gearing up to the next stage of growth with all right. So we're gearing up to the next stage of growth, and some examples I want to highlight as an example is. So we upscale their growth based on product innovation, whether it's about creating a joint product or helping the startup to build a better product. So Ada Tech is an insurance technology startup. We help them to build a SaaS-based solution that reduce their proof of concept from months to 2 days. We also help people like Next Billion to expand into to acquire a new logo, Dr. On Call to a new market in Sri Lanka. And it's not, I think the slide is not showing entire, oh, there you go. And last but not least, helping the startup to fundraise, so these are the examples we have helped, actually today we have more than 2 companies have successfully closed the next round with total funds of more than 50 million being raised since they joined Spark. And like I mentioned, I think we're not going to stop here. So we're not getting up to the next stage of growth with Spark 3-year plan. I'll just quickly talk about that. So we are investing over 100 million USD in the next 3 years. The goal is to build, to accelerate and develop 100 scale-ups out of 1,000 startups that we're going to support. We're also going to build 10,000 developers over on Huawei Cloud ecosystem. Our pit stop program is where we're going to help the startup to join, develop their product and to adopt Huawei Cloud service faster. And quite exciting, we're launching our innovation program, not only with startups, but also with our enterprise clients, basically bridging the need of innovation, need of enterprise with the capability from our portfolio companies. We are launching Spark in 4 more markets, so Indonesia, Philippines, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam in the next 3 years. So in short, that's our mission. Our mission is to build inclusive and sustainable startup ecosystem with this platform for tomorrow's scale up, and with mission to contribute to the social and economic prosperity in Asia. I am a firm believer of the present is made by those who do, but the future is made by those who dare. So with that, I like you to look at Spark, and if you have any interest to participate in the Spark, please feel free to reach out to myself and the team. Here's my LinkedIn profile and the URL, so feel free to reach out. Yeah, thank you very much.